Yes, good morning once again, learners. This is part two of simultaneous equations, where number one, we started by understanding the basis of solving simultaneous equations, where we dealt with expressing one term in terms of the other. But in this case now, we are going to use what we did in part one to understand or to solve simultaneous equations using substitution method. Now, simultaneous equations, we agreed these are events that occur at the same time. And that is why now we are solving this kind of equations whereby we have two equations that involves unknowns. Now, in this case, if we are to solve them, we must first of all express one term in terms of the other. Now, how do you solve this? Number one, you must first of all consider these two equations and decide which equation are you going to express in terms of the other. I normally advise my learners that it is important for you to consider one of the simplest equations. Now, in this case, equation 1 and equation 2, in my opinion, I think we should first of all express equation 2 as 1 in terms of the other. Now, in this case, you can choose to express x in terms of y or y in terms of x. So I'll choose to express x in terms of y to solve this simultaneous equation. Now, what do I mean? Solution. In our solution here, we will express x in terms of y, where we are going to have x plus y equals to 8, written as x equals to 8 minus y. Sorry, we're going to have x equals to 8 minus y. Remember, we agreed that when the equal sign changes or shifts to the right from the left side, it changes. If it was positive, we will have a negative. If it was a negative, we will have a positive. So this one was positive. Now in this case, it is negative. Now from there, in this case, we have the value of x as x minus y. We have expressed x in terms of y. Number two, that's where we come to apply the concept or the word substitution. Substitution from substituting. We are substituting one in terms of the other. So where we will have x, we will equate it to this value here. What do I mean? For example, now we are going to use this equation that we have expressed from equation 2 to use it in equation 1. Remember, we chose the simplest one so that we can substitute to the other one that seems quite difficult. Why do we substitute? So that we can have like terms from one side. Then, having like terms from one side, we are able to solve. We are able to simplify. We are able to find the value of the other. Now, what do I mean? I mean, we're going to have, we take our first equation where we have 3x plus y equals to 16. Now, this being our first equation, we are going to replace the value of x in our first equation. What do I mean? Learners, let's see. Now, we're going to have 3, then x is here, and the value of x is this one. So you're going to have 3 into bracket 8 minus y into bracket plus y equals to 16. Now, having written it this way, it means now we have replaced the value of y, or we have substituted, as the method says, substitution method, where you replace one term in terms or in form of the other. So in this case, we just open the bracket and we have our solution. Now, 3 times 8, that one becomes 24. So in this case, we're going to have 24 minus 3 multiplied by minus y. This one is going to be minus 3y plus y equals to 16. Are we together, learners? Very well. Now from here, you can see now we have like terms and unlike terms. So we put like terms together so that we can be able to solve. Now this one is very simple because we're going to have minus 3y plus y equals to 16 minus 24. You're going to have this way. You are going to have it this way. So we're going to have, we have a debt of 3, but we have 1. When we pay 1, we are going to have a debt of 2. So in this case, minus 3 plus 1, we are going to have minus 2. It means I have a debt of 3, but I already have 1. If I use 1 to pay the debt, I am going to remain with a debt of 2. So in this case, you're going to have minus 3 plus y, we are going to have minus 2y equals to 16 minus 24. 16 minus 24, it means I have 16, but I owe someone else 24 shillings. So if I pay 16 shillings, I am going to remain with the debt. So in this case, we just have to take 24 minus 16, whereby we are going to have 8 as a debt. We are going to have 8 as a debt. So 16 minus 24 is 8 as a debt. So we are going to have minus 8. We're going to have minus 8. So 16 minus 24, it means I have 16, but I owe 24 shillings. If I pay 16, I remain with the debt. So you divide by minus 2 here, you divide by minus 2 here, we are going to have y equals 2. This one and this one will cancel one another. This one is positive. No. This one was negative and this one was negative. Negatives are going to cancel each other. Remember we said the minus divided by minus is going to give us positive. Are you together, class? Now, from there, if you are to divide minus 8, this one and this one are going to cancel. The 8 divided by 2, this one is going to be 4. So a value of y is going to be 4. Very well. I hope we are together. Then from here, we have to replace now y from the first equation that we expressed x in terms of y. What do I mean? Remember, we had an equation here, x equals to 8 minus y. Now, having an equation x equals to 8 minus y, it means we have to replace the value of y, which is 4. So in this case, we're going to have x as 8 minus 4, where x is going to be equals to 4. X is equals to be 4, and y is also equals to 4 as well. Now, the values of x and y is 4, 4. Remember, we were solving simultaneous equations involving two unknowns. So the two unknowns, we use substitution method to get what is not known. Are you together, learners? Now, in this case, sometimes it's good to prove or to check whether the answer is correct. Now we have the value of x as 4 and y as 4. You can just come here and replace direct to see whether it is the truth. So to prove that one, you can have it in this form. We had our equation here. Allow me rub here. Sorry, my board is so big. Therefore, allow me rub here so that we can prove whether it is the truth. So in this case, we are going to have our problem and we must replace. So in this case, we're going to have 3 multiplied by the value of x, which is equals to 4 plus 4. Let's see whether it is equals to 16. 3 multiplied by 4, this one is going to give us 12 plus 4, that one is 16. So we have proved that the value of x and y, it is correct. You can also prove with y. In fact, we have just replaced directly, so we don't need to prove more. So it is very correct. You can also put it here. Here you have 4, here plus 4, you're going to have 8. Therefore, it is important for you, first of all, to learn how to express one in terms of the other, to simplify, then substitute. After substituting, you put the like terms together and you solve. Now, this one is one of the examples. I would like to request you to follow for the next video so that you can have more different examples pertaining or that are in the subject of substitution so that you can understand more. Because in the next few examples, I would like us to solve problems that involves decimal points and also fractions. Otherwise, thank you very much.